Welcome. Welcome, everybody. How are you all?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Matt. Good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Doing
good, mate.
We're back with
you guys.
What was that? Sorry, Scott?
I said, mate, I'm good. I'm excited to be on with you guys. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, very well. Blah, blah, blah. I'm already speechless. Thank you for joining us in Collectively Speaking. We've got below me here, we've got VTR Dave. Off to Dave's right, we've got Luke from Reynolds Reviews. We've got Scotty in the middle of the two thorns. Of course, on his right, we've got Andrew.
G'day, everyone.
Welcome. Welcome back. It's been a few months, hasn't it, guys?
Yeah,
it has been a few months. Yeah. It does. But been very much looking forward to this. Yeah,
it's been.
Yeah, for sure. It was a great chat last time, so I'm excited to kind of pick up where we left off, and yeah, got some fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
It was so long ago, and with my memory, I'm not sure where we got to.
This is why you have notes, Dave. I have notes.
Dave, I think we got to the point where we said, why have you still got spare space behind your head there?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That would be a window, would it, Dave?
That's a window, but that shouldn't stop me.
Yeah.
It's space on the roof. So we'll go around the rooms and see what each of us have been up to. If that's, we'll go that way, I guess, first, and we'll start with the best looking one down here. Dave, there you go.
That would be there, wouldn't it?
Oh, right. There's a lot of competition on this stream. You want to start with me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, what have I been up to? Wow. I've been out and about roaming. So I've been to a few fairs in the UK. So in the UK, I don't know if it's the same in Oz, but in the UK, the sort of fair season starts around September, and then goes through to around sort of April time, and then over the summer it's a little quieter. So yeah, I've been visiting the fairs, been to Sandown, NEC, and then a couple of weeks ago I was at Echo Base, which is the Star Wars event. Yeah, they've been great. I've managed to find some nice pickups too, and which is always good fun on the hunt. And otherwise just trying to balance work life and all the rest of it.
All of us, right?
Yeah, managed to get a few videos out, and I've got a few restorations on the go, and just trying to keep on top of all this stuff behind me, which I'm not sure I'm doing so well on at the moment. So we can go into that later.
Yeah. No, well, you need a friend like Andrew, Dave, like someone to come over. I invited Andrew over last weekend. He tidied up my toy room for me.
Wow. Yeah, I do need a friend like that. Wow.
He did. See, I went to tell you how I tied it up. I went, that goes on the shelf. That one goes in my pocket. That one goes on the shelf.
Yeah, Matt comes in at the end and goes, "Oh wow, it looks so much more spacious than before. How have you done that?
Looks awesome."
Yeah, well, Andy, if I'll happily sort of pay the fares for you to come over. The only problem is there is no shelf space. Honestly, we need to go into this later. What do we do as collectors when we run out of space?
There's always space, mate. I'll make space for you. I'll have that window blocked out in a heartbeat.
Are you any good at building new kind of rooms and housing?
Not so much. I'm all right with cabinets, but that's about it.
Before we move on, we're going to say hi to the people in the chat. There's just a few in there. So we've got Jewel. G'day, Jewel.
Hey, Jewel.
Hey, Jewel.
And we got Insane in the Toy Brain. That is Dan. And Monique.
What a brilliant username that is.
Hey, guys.
We got Usual Mike.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, Mike.
Good to see you, Mike.
Good day.
They're the only ones that have said hello. All right, Mr. Luke, over to you. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been good. Well, very, very much the same as everyone. Obviously, working and trying to pick up things I can on that cheeky bargain. But I guess what I've been doing a lot of my time, which the video that dropped only last week for a 5.5 minute video, that took me a hell of a long time to do. It was the first video I've sort of scripted or semi-scripted. So I was amazed how much time that took. I've been sat on an evening writing sort of scripts, and I had about 5 or 6 pages worth of information. And when I put it all together, it was like 5 minutes worth of footage. That's crap. But in the end, the videos actually worked out really well, and I was really pleased with it. But that's been taking a lot of my time recently. And then trying to pick up little bits and bargains here and there. I've got a few bits. Ooh. Other than that, just work, and trying to keep the toy room in some kind of order. But just quickly touching on what Dave said a minute ago when we were going about getting people to come in and tidy your room. Can I just ask the question very quickly? But if somebody did come in to tidy your room, guys, maybe not you, Max, Andy's done it for you. Would you not sort of stand there going, no, don't move that there. No, don't touch that. Oh, no, I like that where it is. Would anyone do? Because I don't think I'd want to. If somebody said to me, I'll go tidy your toy room up, I'd be like that. No. I
think displaying toys are the hardest thing to do. You really, you either got a knack for it or you haven't, and I haven't got a knack for it really. So if someone wanted to come in and go, that'll look good like this, I go, go for it, because that's why it's just a mess.
I think you do have to have an eye for it. I think that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just about stacking the shelves. I mean, I'm always tempted to be like, I just want to get as much of my collection on display as I can, because I think one thing we spoke about last time is, during our last chat when the 5 of us got together, was like, what sort of percentage of what you own is on display versus what's stored away. And I hate having stuff I love stored away. You know what I mean? Because my collection room's not getting any bigger. I'm not moving anytime soon. So, I want to get it all out, but it can just be overwhelming when you load the shelves up too much. It doesn't give me the vibe that I want when I'm in here. You know what I mean? Because things, it just ends up a mess of color, and the things that you want to stand out don't stand out. It's not as easy as just loading things onto a shelf, for sure. There's definitely an art to it.
There is absolutely 100% a fine line and a balance. I mean, yes, you want to get as much things out of you can, but I want to walk in here and I want it to look attractive. I want it to look pleasing on the eye, and I think there's a few shelves behind. I mean, everyone sort of says that the shelves behind me look really, really nice, but there's a couple of shelves I think are right on the verge of almost looking overloaded to the point where they look a little bit messy. But that's where you've got to have what I always say, have a shuffle around. I always try to shuffle things around, and I've got it in my head. I always think in my head, if I have a shuffle, I'll somehow make a bit of space somewhere, and it'll look a little bit nicer. But there is definitely a fine line, without doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the idea of rotating my displays. Like in theory, I love the idea of saying, you know what, I'm going to pack away this whole line for now and get something else out and give something else the spotlight. But the fact is, it takes such a long time to set everything up. Like, when I've got new cabinets in the room and I've pulled everything out to redo it, it's a big task. And when it gets to the point where you're somewhat happy with it, I kind of don't want to mess with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely, yeah.
I like the idea of I love the idea of seasonally rotating it, mixing it up. But in practice, it's just too hard. Like, one thing that we've discussed, particularly Matt and I, is you got a certain amount of time to dedicate to the hobby. And obviously toy hunting is a big part of it, and making these videos, to Luke, to your point, it does command a fair bit of time. You don't necessarily have the time then to be constantly changing displays and stuff. So it's tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that balance is really, really tough. It's amazing, actually, when you get into this world. I don't really want to call this world. I feel like I'm getting towards a hoarder here at the moment, but when you get into this world, I don't think you realize how many different aspects there are of it. I mean, especially 100%. When you're running a channel as well. I mean, it's, like you say, you're out trying to, I mean, if you're just doing this on your own, because I called myself a private collector in the past. I mean, I just collected for myself, right? I didn't really have any friends that were doing the same thing or colleagues. So I would just do this on my own. So in the past, I would just go out, hunt for some stuff, come home, put it on the shelf, and I'd be very happy.
Done. Yeah.
But now it's a case of you're doing those hunts. You're trying to, especially when your collection gets to a certain size as well. I think the volume of the collection also becomes an issue. So you're constantly trying to sort of find accessories or complete lines. You've got the it's not, if you're a modern collector, I sometimes am a little bit jealous of modern collectors, because you basically buy the thing and it looks brand new. Right? It is brand new. So you just put it on the shelf, or you get it out of the box and you put it on the shelf. If you're buying vintage stuff, you're also having to clean it up or restore it, or you're doing something like to get it to the point where you want to put it on the shelf. So there's all that side of it, and just the archival, the sort of making lists of things, all that kind of stuff. And then and then like you say, once you've got the display going, the amount of time it takes to just keep refining it and then rotating. Everyone says rotate it, but you just don't have the time to rotate it. It would take forever. But that balance is really, really tough. And doing YouTube takes away time, right, from the actual hobby. You know what I mean? You can do YouTube and think of that as another hobby. It sort of sits on the side, which is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But you are taking time away from the pure collecting side of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, at least when it comes to toys, though, like vintage action figures and other toys, like the displaying of them is how you enjoy them. Like I remember watching. I don't know if you guys consume much content. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys collect like retro video games and stuff like that. But I was watching someone's videos like who specifically collects retro games, and in a Q&A video was asked like, do you actually spend much time playing games? And it was like, well, after hunting for them and making the YouTube, making the content and so on and so forth, like the thing that falls by the wayside is actually sitting down and playing the games. That's what falls by the wayside. Between the time spent hunting and collecting and restoring and then consuming, then putting together content and managing a channel and stuff like that. So at least we can stick something on the shelf. And if this is our space where we edit or whatnot, where we make videos, we still get to look at this stuff all the time and every day and enjoy it in that way. But there's only so much time. And that says like, and I don't really do much in the way of restorations. Like I'm big on cleaning stuff, getting the magic eraser out, and obviously trying to piece together accessories to complete things. But I can imagine when you do full restorations, like that's a whole nother beast in terms of time.
Yeah. I don't do too many restorations. I mean, very basic stuff. If you'll know yourself, guys. You look at something and you think, I can do that, or no, I feel I'm going to struggle with that. Anything fairly basic, I'm happy to do myself. Anything more than that goes to this guy.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
you
I
get
think the most I've done is just put the O-rings in the G.I. Joes. That's about it, really. And sugar soap the toys, things like that. But I haven't sort of even sort of glued things back together yet. I was always thinking, I've got to find the perfect glue so it doesn't run and splurge out.
And it doesn't right clear. And
Let me just barge in here and just with the chat update. There's a few saying hello again. So we've just got Action Figure World saying hi.
G'day.
We've got Lee.
G'day, Lee.
It's good to see you, Lee. It's been a while. Thank you, Lee. Like for us to make a goose of ourselves. We've got Dean and Sarah. Hello.
Hey, guys.
G'day.
I think that is it. Another bunch. It's good just to stop every now and then and just say hi to the people in.
For sure.
Coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we'll go up to Scotty. What have you been up to, Scotty? We know you did a video not so long ago.
Yeah, mate. We're in the run home to the end of the year. The toy fairs are stacked together. We had one last month, so I don't know, maybe like 4 weeks ago at this point in time. Tomorrow there's a little toy fair out at Hurstville, which is great because it's very small. It's a mix of toys, but also records. Like there's a lot of vinyl there. There's a lot of physical media there. And I'm in and out in like 45 minutes. It's like a much smaller one, but it's only like half an hour away from where I live. So I'll go check that out tomorrow because it's not like it means I'm giving up my Sunday. It's just go check it out. I'll be back here by 10 in the morning kind of thing. So do that tomorrow. And then next weekend, we've obviously got Collecticon at Campbelltown and then and then there's a couple more sort of toy hunting events and shows to run home to the year. So we're just kind of in the midst of that. And just trying to make videos where I can. It's slowed down a bit just because I don't know. Sometimes I aspire to make something a bit slicker, and all that happens is I just make less videos. Like I could be pumping out way more, but I'm trying to make something a little bit better and yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I really wish I could do. I know that I'm not going to be able to do anything weekly, but I wish I could do something every 10 days to 2 weeks max. But I just struggle with that. So, but it is what it is. Like, I don't want to like make myself do it to the point where like I'm up at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, like trying to churn it out just to meet a deadline that I set for myself. So I just kind of make them as and when I can, and when I'm happy with it, put it out there. You know what I mean? So that's really what I'm doing at the minute, and enjoying all these toy fairs.
I don't know how Luke does it.
Absolutely.
I think nor do I. Nor do I.
I think that's the right attitude. It just, a long time ago with YouTube, I made the decision. I've spoken to Luke about this many, many times. I made the decision, which was that I'm not going to let YouTube own me, right? I want to own my own channel. In that, like I say, we've only got so much time to spend on this, and if I had more time, time for me is a limiting factor. If I had more time that I could put into YouTube, I would be producing more videos. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I would love to do that, but I can't. So I don't put myself under too much pressure or stress to try and get stuff out the door, which is why sometimes on my channel, I just go quiet for a bit and then I'll come back with a few, and it may look like I'm doing one a week again, and then I just go quiet again. It really depends on what's going on in life, what videos are actually in production. Like you say, I could quite easily, I guess, spend literally 10 minutes just doing an off-the-cuff video, just browsing around the room or whatever it is, and put it up. But I don't really want to do that. That's not kind of my style. So it's not worth putting yourself under stress for YouTube. It really isn't. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, to me, like, the YouTube is very much secondary to the hobby of collecting. It's an extension of the collecting. So I would hate it because, look, the way I am, like the way I'm wired, if I said to myself, okay, we're going to put out a video every Wednesday or whatever the case may be, every Tuesday night, like, I would do it. And the worst thing for me would be to like start to lose interest in the stuff behind the channel, and that's the toys. And I would that to me that would be the worst thing that would happen. And I've never really, at any point in the last few years since I've been doing this, I've never really got to the point where I'm like, oh, I need to take a break from this. I need to step back or whatever. And I think the reason for that is because I've never made myself put a video out there. You know what I mean? It's and like you, Dave, like if given more time, like I would love to, man. Sometimes when work is hectic, I'll go from one weekend to the next without being able to look at a video, and I'll be hanging out for it. You know what I mean? So yeah. I would love to be able to pump them out. I really would, but I just can't at the minute. So
you really notice the difference too when you're forced to do a video.
That's the other thing, yeah. When you're on camera, you can't.
I've done it. I've sort of forced myself to do a video, send it because I put it up. Matt edits it, and he goes, "What crap's?" and I don't blame me because
I'm not a beast.
I don't blame me because I when you look back at it yourself, and I was forcing myself to do it. I wasn't enjoying it, and it comes out like that too.
Yeah.
It comes out half-assed if you don't enjoy it, and that's why last weekend I went up to Matt's and we did some filming and we enjoyed it, didn't we, Matt? Because when I think it comes off a lot better when you just enjoy doing it.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Well, that was we put one of those out through the week, and that was the less fun one, I guess. Like the other one was just absolutely hilarious, just trying to recreate a commercial from 1976 was just absolutely amazing. Like, just we're trying to get up, we're sitting on the floor like the kids in this commercial, we're trying to get up, we're going, holy crap, like my back on my legs, and like we're getting Leanne to film it for us, going, just leave it in, like just let it all be natural like that. You're 50-year-old guys, just get up, you're not those 6-year-old kids anymore. And we're like, oh crap, like, Andrew gives me my stick, oh thanks buddy, like, and can I share something with you? Andrew has kindly allowed me to share this. This is from a little bit of our outtakes. Where is it? Present. So bear with me here. I'm going to share screen. Yeah, that's good.
Is it sharing?
Nah, I'm not. I'm struggling. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay.
Oh, sorry, we got it.
It's coming now. Here we go. Oh, I thought it was. Here it is. So
Wow.
we decided to try and find the original clothes from the 70s. And so we found this shirt, and it was a double XL, believe it or not. So they sent me this shirt, and I said, and so I thought this will be brilliant. Like, it looks exactly like the shirt they're wearing. So we tried it on, and this is double XL.
It's
like
double XL, yeah.
Belly.
But it's the exact T-shirt they had in the commercial for the blonde kid.
Oh,
it was
that's awesome.
So we
incorporated double XL boys, is it something?
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Because
that's probably enough for everyone's eyes.
Like when you guys shared that the Star Wars commercial or the Millennium Falcon commercial that you guys kind of replicated. I watched that plenty of times, and it took me a couple of views to realize, like, oh, hang on, you guys have got the same clothes on and everything. Like, it's that level of level of detail that, like, I didn't even notice in the first view, and then the second time around.
It's very hard, actually, because it's in the scenes in this in the Space 1999 one. I don't know how they must have really good cameras, because the angles they got and how they zoomed in and did it. And then we tried to do it, and you go, no. I said, mate, they must have had there was a scene where there's a little winch in it, and that winch is down. And I said, no, they must have had the winch out of it, and they held it, and then sort of as they pulled it up, and I said, it's the only way they could have done it, and all this sort of thing. And there's all these. It only goes for what, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's a 30-second commercial, but
it took us a while to sort of try to get it to the right angles and everything like that to replicate it, but. We did the best we could, didn't we?
Yeah,
I think the intros are great that you're doing. I do. I think they're great.
We probably should be get into something a bit more chunky, but I think it's just fun. That's what we're trying to do on the channel. We've had a bit of a chat, and we're trying to keep it to doing more stuff together and just using the channel for that. Otherwise, as we've all just said, like, we're running out of time. We've got so much. We haven't got much time to do YouTube. Otherwise, we could sit here and make individual videos forever.
Yeah.
But, it's just not as much fun. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. Sit there and talk to a camera. Like, kudos, hats off to you.
I think it kind of links into what Dave and Scott mentioned earlier, and then Andy. That, I mean, I still do a weekly video now. Most of my videos are just show and tell, hands in camera. Something on the table. Look at what I picked up this week, or somebody sent me, or whatever. But luckily now, in the last sort of 18 months, I don't work Fridays anymore. So I always get an empty house on a Friday for sort of 6-7 hours, which is when I generally do my filming now. And I said to Rachel not long ago, before I sort of didn't work, before I had a 4-day week, when did I do my filming? I don't, because I don't. And she's like, we used to do it on a Saturday. I was like, what, when like you and Connor are in? And she's like, yeah, you just used to disappear for like 2-3 hours or whatever. And I thought, what? God, I feel really harsh that I used to just disappear on in a time when we were all here. But also I don't know about you guys, but I feel I need an empty house to film as well, because I'm very easily distracted. If I hear noises going on outside the room, I think, is somebody going to pop their head in? Do they realize I'm filming? I get very distracted but when I was still working Fridays, I felt really, going on to what Dave said now, I felt really pressured to get a video out every week, because that's what I do. I drop on every weekend. That's what I do. Run reviews every weekend. Once I realised I'm rushing it, because at one point I was filming on a Friday and dropping it on the Sunday. Wow. So I thought, I've got 2 days to get all this done and ready to go and uploaded and ready to drop. And I felt really pressured. And going on to what Andy said, and I felt when I watched it back, I thought, you can tell I've rushed that bit. You can see I've rushed that bit. That I don't like that transition there. I've just banged that in because I needed to just get it done and finished. So I've now managed to get myself like 3 and 4 videos in front.
Oh,
so,
nice.
for example, I filmed yesterday, but that won't drop for like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So I tried to do it, but I had to film like all day one day to get myself, literally all day to get myself in front. And I thought, whatever, I'll just do it once, and then I'll be 3 or 4 weeks ahead. So I can just then. But you're right. It sometimes, even now, still does feel a little bit stressful that I've got in my head, I've got to get one out every week, when I don't really. I don't know. It's not. What difference will it make if I miss a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
But I do still feel that element of pressure sometimes.
Yeah, you're not going to get forgotten, that's for sure. Not after a week or two.
No, definitely not. Definitely. No. But I know what you mean. Like, it's that you've kind of set that precedent for yourself, and you feel pressure to maintain that. I mean, no one's going to forget about you if you've had a week off or whatever, because I'm sure, so you got to take a holiday at times, and there'd be circumstances that would pop up. But it's awesome that you managed to kind of batch it in a way where you're a few weeks ahead. That must take a lot of the weight off it.
It does, because from filming, thinking I've got 2 days to get this ready, and I'll think I've got 3 weeks. And then if things need tweaking, you can no, I've got plenty of time. I'll tweak that, or whatever. But then, like Dave, it really worked for Dave. Dave, at one point during lockdown, was dropping a video every Thursday morning. And I used to get downstairs, and it was a standing joke. I'd get my chocolate hoops ready, and I'd sit at the breakfast table, and I'd stick VTR on. And then he messaged me privately, like, Luke, I'm really sorry, almost apologetic, really. I'm not gonna drop weekly videos anymore. I'm just gonna drop them as and when. But the thing is with Dave, especially, it's worked for him, because he's when he does drop, his content is so good. Just production, just the quality.
For sure,
his channel exploded. I think part of I'm going to drop it when it's ready helped that, because even though Dave's stuff is great, I think even more so since he's said I'm just going to drop a video when it's ready to go. I think his videos are right up there with the best on YouTube, personally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can talk about how YouTube works and stuff if you want a bit later. But yeah, because how long have we been doing it now? It was beginning of lockdown, so what?
April 2020.
I don't know how long.
It was March 2020 went into the first lockdown.
Yeah, so it must be about 3 years or whatever, maybe a bit over 3 years now. So, and I know a lot of people don't bother looking at the analytics and all that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of I like that piece of it. I like to understand how on earth YouTube works. Not that anyone actually knows how YouTube works, but I have tried to look behind the scenes and just look at some of the analytics and see what other people have been saying about it. Not just in our world, but in all different kind of YouTube worlds. So I feel like I have an idea of the mechanics of YouTube, of how it works. I have no idea how the algorithm works. No one does. But I definitely changed the way that I produced videos, and because for me, and it is down to that time thing. If I'm going to put time in, and for me, a video, like a restoration video, it could take me just for the edit 8 to 10 hours just for an edit, which is a massive amount of time. That's ignoring the amount of time that went into the restoration and everything else. So for me, if I'm going to put that amount of time in, I want some investment. I want a return on that investment, right? I want to make, if I get a small number of views, then it's like that. That's the worst thing in the world, because, well, for me at least, anyway. It's you put that effort in and then no one watched it, and you're like, oh crikey, why am I doing this? And you could easily just give up. You can easily give up in that rate. So I try to change the way I do things just to see if that helped. And it's still a wild ride, really. You have no idea how YouTube's going to work. So it's funny you say about, sometimes you don't feel like doing a video or not. So my last 2 videos were both walking around at a fair, basically. One was the NEC, and I don't know what it was about the NEC. I don't know whether I just didn't sleep very well, but I just wasn't feeling it at the NEC. I did find some things, and I met a load of people, and it was a great day, but I just wasn't in the mood for filming. I was going around. I took a few little shots. I didn't have the confidence. It's a bit weird, but when you're going around those fairs, you've got to have the confidence to stick with the camera where people don't really want the camera.
Of course.
Right? But for some reason at the NEC, I just wasn't really feeling it. And when I put the video together, I felt that, and actually a lot of it was just me talking rather than actually showing stuff. Whereas at Echo, I woke up and I got there and it's like, I don't care. I just videoed everything. I didn't care what anyone said or whatever. I'm just doing it. And that video, weirdly, that video is that's my now. I only went live last Sunday night. It's not even a week. It's just about to cross 10,000 views. I mean, it's like that. I mean, for me, that's amazing. I mean, hardly any of my videos have got to 10,000, let alone
because those fairs, like we watched it, David. Those fairs, they're just incredible because we don't get anything like that here. just one that's just on Star Wars is just incredible, and and so it's really interesting to watch, and to see those prices. The prices is what we try to look for the most, actually, when we look at it, because we just can't believe the prices they're going for.
Yeah, exactly. That's very fortunate, the prices there.
Yeah, try and count the General Medines.
Yeah.
He follows Dave, General Medine. I think Star Wars is always going to be not just the event, but the toy line that's going to get you. I mean, I know I don't do much Star Wars on my channel now yet. When I do drop a Star Wars video, even at my level, it's always gets the best views, apart from last week. But that I don't take credit for last week because that was Tim at Boss Bounty's idea.
It's weird. It's weird how that works. And so I've been looking at the mechanics of it, and I think I kind of understand how YouTube sort of works, but I don't know the secret, right? I don't know the magic. I don't understand what's going in. When people say, I understand the algorithm, and even just simple statements like, if you comment or you like or dislike, that's going to help. No one knows. No one knows if that helps or not.
Yeah, true.
If I look back through my videos, I got videos that get pushed by YouTube that have few comments and likes. It doesn't make any sense. So,
I've got to admit, I rarely look at my analytics, but when I do, I just do this. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm just going to catch up with the chat again. Sorry, chat. Like I know I'm usually a little bit better, but I like to listen to what Dave and Luke and Scotty and Andrew are saying. So, Enzo, welcome. Thank you very much. You're not late,
Enzo.
It's all good. Well, there's probably a couple of good-looking guys, but
the Roosters. He was talking about the Roosters. I don't know where they are.
The Roosters. The rugby league team, the Roosters. We've got Edmonton Stormtrooper. Hello.
G'day.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us. We've got Taylor's. I'm doing photography on my fingers as a way of playing with them right now. Yes.
I'm just getting into a little bit of photography. I've got to be honest. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's similar to what Lee Penmanovic was saying. He's displaying as he's playing. So, I think it's the way that we all do it these days, isn't it?
Yeah, display is played for sure. And making videos are played to a certain extent to me,
Yes, thanks, Lee.
We love the show.
Yeah, we do. G'day, Pete.
Oh, g'day, Pete.
Hey, Amy.
Hope you're well, mate.
Hey, Amy. We failed.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
He had to get it in.
Yes, cheeky. He's a cheeky bugger. He is.
Who's Samo then? That's what I want to know.
That's DCB June. Welcome.
Oh, hello, DCB June.
You'd be good there. Be good there, Dave. What else we got? I'm just going through. Hey, who's this guy? What? He's just chucking in random comments.
He's in two places at once.
Can I show Mike something that I picked up he might like?
No, bent the wheel.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Hang on.
Are you going to show something, Andrew?
Hey, I'm just doing an early flex.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, I picked up one of those. Did you get one of them?
Ooh.
Oh, Mike.
Usual Mike.
Usual Mike. Okay. Yeah,
I picked up the Mandalorian one the other day. Yeah. I haven't opened it up, but I'm going to open it up. But I thought I don't know if Usual Mike picked one up or not. It was pretty good.
So, and Andrew, how difficult are they to get down in Oz?
These aren't too difficult to get. It's just the price, which
Cheers, Mike.
So
$5. It was $5.
Very cheap.
Very reasonable price.
Just say you've had it for ages, Andy, and it usually settles them down. If you think you've had it for
ages, I never noticed.
Yeah.
G'day, Mother.
Oh, g'day, Mother.
Was that no, Andrew? No N1 Starfighter for him.
Oh, he might have to just settle for this one then.
He's gone again. What's he bringing
He's
back
gone
now?
again. Yeah, he's headed for Hills.
Just Mike, you might just have to settle for the old one.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe you want
just
to-
get the old one and you spray it silver.
Is that a custom? Is that what like? Is that like you mean you get that one and you customize it to look
Yeah,
like?
customize it yourself. It would be the poor man's Mandalorian one. You just spray it silver. But it'll look good. It'll look good actually. I opened this one up and put the Mandalorian one with it. You know, because it's the same. You know, the same
Does look nice.
chip.
Does look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have those ever been opened?
No, but they will be.
You will open
They will be because that's what I plan to do because it's just ending up like a warehouse, and I'm not enjoying it like that. So I'm going to change the way I enjoy my toys. So enjoy them while I can, sort of thing.
Yeah,
You know, and
good way to do it.
because I never got them to be an investment. Really, I got it because I enjoyed collecting toys. I enjoy toys. I love them. You know,
Yeah.
and that's
I
why I
never
like
buy
going up
it.
to Matt's and we play with the toys. That's what we do. You know.
Yeah.
Just absolutely love them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know many. Well, I'm sure I do know people. They maybe just don't say, but I don't know anyone, myself included. I never buy anything for investment. Never. I buy things because I want it. I want it on my shelf. I want it in my collection. And does anyone ever look at their collection and think, well, I wonder how much it's worth? I never think about value. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, we did a challenge once, didn't we, Matt?
Yeah, some individual toys we did. Yeah,
Just to see how much they were going for. But Dave, with your video with that Star Wars one, we just couldn't believe the prices they were going for. It's they obviously are a real investment. Those vintage Star Wars ones on card, and of course all the mint stuff. But
well, I mean, once you're getting to graded, then I suppose you're getting to investment, or maybe not. Maybe it's about authentication or whatever. But
yeah,
preservation.
I have my own.
preservation.
I have my own issues with grading personally, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I think a lot of those prices at that fair were actually priced not to sell.
Yeah.
I do believe that some of those. There's one stall in particular which just it was basically a wall of boxed vintage items, and it kind of reminded you a little bit of a shop store in back in the day. And for me, that look I think that was my third Echo, and that stall looks the same every time. So I don't know whether he sells that much. I think he just puts his collection on display with extortionate prices, so he can walk home with it all. I mean, he did. he did have about. Honestly, I was walking around with Lee, and we were looking at that stall and going, "Oh, that's amazing! Look at that! I mean, he had two early bird sets, one with the double telescoping Luke and one without, just a single sort of standard saber. And I'm looking at those thinking, oh, they're amazing. I'd love to have one of those, but they were like thousands and thousands of pounds each. Wow. But then he had a pile. Literally, it was a pile of Millennium Falcons. There must have been 7 or 8 of them, all the different flavors of boxes and stuff. And I've been looking for a Falcon, but again, I think he's just priced them not to sell. They really do.
Can you recall what the prices were on the Falcons, Dave? Just out of curiosity, because I always have in my own head what I think they should roughly be around. So I'm interested to know what they're selling them for. Now,
this is the thing, right? Now, part of the reason I don't buy from those shows is I'm not really sure whether it's a good deal or not. I'm completely out of date with vintage Star Wars pricing. I'm never quite sure if it's a good price or not. But they were varying. They're probably all of them are probably like 300 plus.
Yeah, and you know what I think, and whether I'm right or wrong, I think some sellers probably bank on that, because I know certain boxes maybe bring a bit more money if it's Palatoy, if it's Kenner, if it's Empire Strikes Back box, or if it's a Jedi box or whatever. But I always have an idea in my head of what I think things should be priced at, and a lot of the time, I think they bank on people not really being sure. But it's the FOMO, isn't it? They'll buy it because they won't want to miss out on it. You know. Yeah, it's interesting. It is.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like I always think like a collector's fair, a toy fair, something like that. I tend to think prices should be better than elsewhere. There, like that's where deals are there to be done, not
the point, isn't it? Yeah.
Because the psychology is different. Like when you go to a toy fair, those sellers have come there to you. If you're in someone's shop, you've gone to them. I never blame someone who owns a shop for saying, well, you know what, that's the price I want for it. If it stays there, well, it looks nice. I like it there. You know what I mean? You pay their price to a certain extent. Whereas if a collector's event, a toy fair, I tend to think you're there to do deals. You know what I mean? So
I agree. I think and people's shops have got overheads, haven't they? And they've got to make sure that
absolutely.
Whereas a one-off toy fair, you've paid for your table on the day, and that's it. So whatever you make on that day, you make. You pay your table money, and that's it. So I agree, Scott. I think they should be willing to do a deal. Yeah.
I think so. And the cost of a table at a toy fair shouldn't be comparable to like the 15% that you pay on eBay. You know what I mean? So,
no.
But again, Echo Live, like it seems like a different sort of event than the Collector Con or the Hurstville Toy Fair or whatever like that we go to our locals. You know what I mean?
It's different. Yeah, I agree with you. When I go to the toy fairs, Sandown and whatever, and actually sometimes those smaller toy fairs are where you can get a real good bargain. And I agree. You can go there, and actually, to be honest, a lot of the dealers now at those fairs, I know, right? It's you're seeing the same people, right? It's this community isn't an endless community, so you'll see the same dealers at all the fairs, and over the years you get to know them. So I think I agree with you, Scott. You go to those fairs, and you're not trying to you're not trying to steal the item from them, in that you're not trying to lowball them with offers and stuff, but you want to try and get a little discount, right?
Of course,
agreed.
And this vintage Star Wars is a different world. Vintage Star Wars is a different world to a lot of the other vintage lines. There's no doubt about that. It's probably a more mature market, if that's the correct term, in that it's probably been going for the longest. It's definitely the world where there are the most expensive items, and it probably is the world where it attracts people who are wealthy, right? And they actually will tip in and pay extortionate amounts, like tens of thousands of pounds or whatever it might be, for those extreme, high-end Star Wars items. So I think it is a different world, and it seems a lot harder to haggle, right, with those vintage Star Wars dealers. Don't know why. I don't know whether they're just trying to keep the prices high. Well, they've got this kind of secret, agreement between them all. I have no idea. Yeah, but it's a different world.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely like. There's been examples. I think whenever they do something on TV, Dave, as well. Like they always use Star Wars as an example. I remember watching. I think it was that. What's that show Andrew used to watch with Jordan Pym? What's his name? And he goes and buys collections.
The Toy Hunter, wasn't it, or something?
The Toy Hunter.
Yeah. And his example was he basically bought some Star Wars figures like that first wave. Oh, and he sold it to this guy on a yacht. They were all like graded, and I can't remember the exact price, but we're talking like something like $25,000 US for these figures. I think it was, or maybe 50. It was a huge amount of money, but it's always the Star Wars figures.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, that you showed in your video, it was a rocket firing Boba Fett. Yeah. Well, the one we saw, it was still in the baggie and the box. Yeah. And and it was I think how many were in the world there was there, Matt? There's only like 6 or something like that. Yeah, genuine ones.
I feel. Sorry, someone was going to say. I feel that there might have been different levels. So there's production levels and there's maybe a prototype. I don't know what. Yeah, but there was supposed to be 6 of this one that he had on display.
Yeah.
And his one was still in the baggie, and he had the box with it, and it was incredible in it
as well.
Yeah,
from Kenner.
Yeah, that's right. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, that one particular stall, which had that rocket firing Boba Fett, it had a whole kind of Jawa set up with obviously vinyl cape Jawas, and then all the various flavors of the Jawas that have ever been. Plus, he had this C-3PO figure, which wasn't painted in gold, so I don't know if that was a pre-production one or not. And then he had a Boba Fett focused display, and then he had a Darth Vader display. I mean, that for me was just amazing to see, because that's not something you see every day. Obviously, none of that was for sale. I mean, that was just part of his own private collection. But there was this black speeder bike. I still don't know. I still don't know what that is. I mean, it's probably some really very famous item or whatever.
Sort of prototype, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I've still no idea what it is, but I assume it's like a one-off or something.
We were as we were watching that, we were just looking at, there was just walls and walls of Star Wars figures, and we just thought and said to each other, it's one of the only lines that you could probably come in right now at this point and pretty much get everything. Yes, it'd probably be a little bit more pricey than it was, 5, 10, 15 years ago, but you could pretty much get anything you wanted, like everything that was released, because there's so much of it.
What are you talking about, Dave? Here's a black one. Look.
Of course, there's a black one there.
You've got everything.
Did he just spray that quickly or what?
Just off camera.
That's a newer one, the newer one from one of the newer films.
Yeah.
Just having a joke.
Brilliant. That is brilliant.
Shall we answer Gene's question?
Yeah.
Dave?
I don't know. Why did she ask this question? She knows I struggle with this.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you want me to go while you think, Dave?
I'm just going to give my pre-standard answers, and basically these two items are basically just have a real connection with my father. And the first one is basically the Royal Canadian Mountie, the Action Man. That was his. He absolutely adored that uniform. And I remember when I was younger, I don't know, he must have. I know he got me some Action Man stuff, but he must have also just ordered stuff for his own, and that was a mail away outfit, so he must have just mailed away for that, and he always loved that. And he had the dog as well, and he just had it on display. And then the other one is the remote control car. It's the Tamiya. It's a Tamiya Cheetah, and I always remember building that with my dad. So those are, I think, for me, they're just that connection will just mean I'll never get rid of them. And there's probably other things in here as well that I wouldn't get rid of, but like all of it. But those are the two items for me.
Yeah, they got special connections by the
sound. Yeah.
Lukey?
Me, very much like Dave. There's a few things in here that I would not want to part with, like my mail away original 12 Star Wars stand for the vintage 12 figures. I wouldn't want to part with that. But one thing I wouldn't want to part with, I'm going to embarrass Dave now. Look, is this guy. So this wasn't, it's not particularly high end item to get, and there's plenty of them around if you want one. But obviously Dave knows, because Dave was responsible for this, that I was having a real hard time getting one in good condition and complete with everything. And then I received that about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. It just turned up on my birthday on the day as well, which was really nice. Opened it up with a nice note, and David had picked this up and restored it and lovingly sort of repaired everything and put it all together and then sent it to me for a birthday gift. So I certainly would never part with that. So yeah, it means a lot.
Nice.
Very cool.
I've almost got a tear in my eye.
It does.
Yeah, embarrassing. Make me cry.
Matty, you switch to Scott and I'll go dig mine out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, Scotty.
I see, Andy, you're meant to be prepared and put things near your table. That's what we've all done, look.
Actually, I do. It's on the table at the moment, the computer. Behind it is just full of toys. So...
He needs to get the forklift to bring it over to him.
Yeah.
It's not the flag, is it? No. We'll go Scotty then. How about you, Scotty?
Well, look, there's plenty of things I wouldn't part with. If we're talking about things that have been gifted to me by, Matt and Andrew, obviously. But really, if someone threw an offer of well above what something's worth to me, I'm going to part with most of these things, because realistically I can go and refine them. But the things that I would not part with for more. I mean, look, I suppose we can eventually come up with a number, but the stuff that I still have from my childhood, and there's not much of it, but really that's the obvious answer to me of what I wouldn't part with, and it's not high end stuff. It's my first 2 Ninja Turtles figures, which one was for me, one was for my brother, but he was like a baby at the time, so naturally it just came to me. So, and I was really young, so it's the first action figure of any line that I ever remember. So, and I'm lucky enough to still have it in my collection. So, it's the childhood stuff that for me I just would never part with. You know what I mean? But but with that said, like I'm far from there's plenty of people out there that'll buy and sell to kind of fund their own collecting. I just sometimes have the intention of doing that. I'll buy a lot and I'll think, well, you know what? These are the ones I really want. Let me move the other ones on and cover the cost. But I can't part with anything. I'm hopeless. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's the childhood stuff that's closest to my heart.
That's a good one.
Bloody skull somewhere.
Grab a shovel and let's flex.
Are they buried under the patio or something?
Yeah.
Well, my one is this, and it's my Yoda hand puppet from 1980, and because I got this when for my 10th birthday, and so it's very to have that still is, and in good nick. It's really good nick.
Some of them edition, yeah.
Yeah, some of them are, they split and all the paints come off or whatever. But this one's he's lasted a long time. So there's no way I'd ever part with this one because this is my original one. So yeah, so he's lasted a long time. He's good. He looked a bit younger back then. He didn't have the wrinkles as much, but yeah, he's I love it.
Oh, we've lost Scotty.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just pause here for a moment. Remember Scotty.
You can remember him.
DCB June Camilla said she loves that Yoda puppet.
Yeah, it was just great. I think I still remember getting it, and I suppose if they had a camera that back in the day, it would have been a big surprise on my face when I saw that thing come out. Yeah,
I think it's similar to you guys. I think there's a difference between sometimes people say if you had to grab one thing, as a fire, I feel that's a bit of a different circumstance. You might just go from, well, you probably try and grab the same things you've said, but I would probably grab that Eagle, the Space 1999 Eagle, if I had time. But if I was coming down to slowly dissolving the collection, and I think the things from my childhood, like the ones that we used to play with, like G.I. Joe, there's a bunch of Transformers that we've still got. I don't know, there's a few, the Daypole Doctor Who figures, my original Dinky Space 1999 Eagle. So there's a bunch of figures that I had as a lot of memories with my brothers playing games with those. I've still got my original Millennium Falcon down there that was in every single game that we played, and the Ice Base down there. They're just things that are special in the heart. Yeah, you've got these fond memories over. So they're the things that would go last, I think. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good question. Yeah. It's as hard as it is for some of us to answer, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I have special backpacks made for my family in case there's a fire. Yeah, so you can load them up as they run out.
You go and get that one. You go get that one.
You get that one.
Did we want to do we have some pickups that we wanted to show some people?
Well, I was just going to say that Darth Muzzer, I saw his comment about the fact that he still has talking about the vintage Tamiya stuff.
Yes, he's Tamiya.
Still has his boomerang. They're awesome. Let me just pick up. Let me go and pick it up.
Okay.
The car.
Then grab him and make him big.
Oh. There we go.
We're going to show that shot. We'll wait until he gets back here.
There we go. So this is the one that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So now this is the Lamborghini Cheetah. So this is actually a Lamborghini, and I think it was on. I can't remember whose stream it was, but they were talking about GI Joe.
Yep.
This I believe is the Lamborghini Cheetah. Is what was the inspiration for the GI Joe, that GI Joe vehicle.
Is it Stinger?
Is
Is
it
GI
the
Joe?
Stinger
Is
or
it called Stinger?
The Vamp or
sure.
whatever it's called. I don't know which one it is. But anyway,
yeah.
This is this is the car that me and my dad made when I was much younger. So yeah, it's awesome. So I rebuilt this again and did a bit of a service on it. But I love this thing. It's very delicate. It wasn't really built for really being used. There's supposed to be some wing mirrors, and they're always gone. You can never find the wing mirrors because obviously just people bash them into walls and stuff. But yeah, I love that thing. So I would never get rid of this, basically.
What size is the figure in it? Is it a 6-inch size or
it's probably it's about a 6-inch. Yeah, that'll be about a 6-inch figure in there.
Yeah, I think it was. The GI Joe one. I think is like the one you gave me, Matt.
Yeah, was it the pant? Is it the Panther or
that one there?
Which one is it? It's
let me make Andrew big.
Yeah.
Is that one? It looks similar, doesn't it?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is that one. Yeah.
Yeah, like that one, yeah.
Yeah, and it's supposed to have 2 cases in the back, like similar to the Tamiya one there. Jerry cans. That's the word I'm looking for. G'day, sci-fi. Welcome.
G'day,
sci-fi.
I'm not sure what Pete means by this. The Martin Lander. So did we want to show some pickups from our that we've got recently? If anyone's got any, I know I do. But Luke.
But I'm happy to go if
first, Luke.
Got a few. Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah. I picked these up yesterday. I mean, I'll probably show them on the channel at some point, but it won't be anytime soon. So I'll just so I got this guy.
Let me just wait. I'm going to make you big too now.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh yeah. So, is it Sludge?
Sludge, yeah, I believe Sludge that one. So I got that guy. I got these for a bit of a steal. I did get. Can you say it? I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. His name now. I don't know if you're allowed to. So I got this guy as well. I got Snarl.
You can't say his name. Is that what you mean?
No, Snarl I can say, but the other one I don't want to offend anyone in the chat. If there's any females, especially.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody can work it out. He's a bit loosey. I'll show him. He's a bit loosey goosey, but and this guy. If you can all remember, I dare say it in case.
Oh.
Dave knows, I think.
Yeah, I know. It's like Slug.
Yeah, just slightly different. With a different vowel.
I'm assuming in the States, like that term means nothing, hence they use that name.
I'm not sure, but I did complete this guy this week.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Somebody from the toy groups on Facebook kindly sent me his chest plate and his headgear, so he's complete now, which is very nice. A couple more, and I'm going to apologise to Matt in advance here. So I picked this guy up.
Oh,
nice.
Rock Lords.
So I think Brimstone's the red guy, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah. This is you know what? I can't even think of the names on these, but I think I just jumped in front of Matt very quickly. I'm afraid.
That's all good. I've actually got that one, so that's okay.
Oh, have you? Oh, I feel better now then. This guy. I can't remember this guy. Is it Limestone? I'm not sure. I should have looked at their names before I did that, shouldn't I? And then the last one, which I picked up fairly recently from a recommendation of somebody, and it's a bare bones vehicle. It needs everything to complete it, but it's the best carcass I've ever seen. So I picked it up, which is this guy.
Oh, very cool.
I've never seen one with the stickers in such good condition and the chrome on the wheels with no rub on them whatsoever. So it does need everything adding to it, but it's the best sort of body that I've seen. So I thought I'll grab it and then I'll complete it over time. So yeah, really happy with those.
What's that one's name? Sorry,
that one's Outlaw.
Outlaw. Okay.
And it'll take some completing. But when I saw that the condition of the main body was just so good, and I thought, yeah, I'll get that and I'll complete it over time. But it was only 30 quid, so I thought it was worth picking up.
Good one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's
Is
me.
this it? Is this it? Is it? It's not. That doesn't sound too bad to say. Slag. It's
Slag, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the UK, it's quite derogatory. So.
Well, yeah, we used to say it a lot in Australia too, especially at school.
Yeah. So I weren't sure if I should say it or not.
It wasn't Snatch.
No, not quite.
Dave, have you got something that you'd like to share?
I do have. I've got stuff lying around. So I'm not prepared.
I won't make you. Wait a second. I'll make you smell them.
You mean you're not prepared, Dave? You suggested pickups.
I did suggest pickups. You're right.
Stuck in doing.
Slacking, aren't I? I do have this new Palatoy book that's just been released.
That's nice.
So this was a Kickstarter. It's called Palatoy Declassified, and if I just read off the back, basically it's a full guide to the history, design, and production of the Action Force from Palatoy. And what's really cool is that it has running right through it is an interview with Bob Breakin, obviously the chief designer for Palatoy, and it has loads of photos of pre-production prototype stuff that you just haven't seen before. So this is an awesome book, actually. I love this one. Oh gosh, where do I go? I don't know. I picked up a load of Dino Riders recently.
If only Phil from Treasures was Trigger was here. He loves those things.
As you can see, everything's still in boxes, and just none of it's
spot.
None of it's organized at all. But yeah, so I've got these do have all the accessories. I just haven't sorted through them all yet. So I've got the Triceratops there. I think that's the right one. Yeah. And then we've got the. I'm gonna do some restoration on some of this, make sure all the motors are working properly and everything else, because these two are motorized. It's the Diplodocus.
Oh wow!
And I've just got a box full of all the accessories, because when these are loaded with the accessories and all the lasers and everything else, they're awesome.
Oh, they're killer.
Yeah. I've got a couple of the smaller ones here. As you can see, look, this is what's happened. I bought this stuff and I've not even got it out yet of the bags and just looked at it and properly. This one's I'm cheating here, so I'm looking at the instructions. Styracosaurus on that one, which is quite cool.
Yeah, nice.
And then
they're quite realistic looking, aren't they, for toys? I was in Dino Riders. The attention to detail in the dinosaurs themselves, look really good.
Absolutely. They've got a flying one here, which is I don't know how you pronounce this, Quetzalcoatlus or something like that. He's cool because he has lasers on the wings and stuff, and it's all kitted out.
Did you have them in the 80s, Dave?
No. This is a line that I've picked up as an adult, and I'm gonna. I think this guy might get a few mentions in this stream. I'm gonna blame Steve Darby for that.
Yeah, he's got a lot to answer for, that guy.
Yeah, because he doesn't live that far away from me. He literally is 5 minutes away from me. So I went over and had a look at his collection, and he had some Dino Riders, and I fixed up his T-Rex for him, and ever since I've got hooked on it. But it's funny you say, Luke, about the fact that they're really accurate looking. And so what happened was that the Smithsonian Institute, I believe, used the Dino Riders dinosaurs as models, and then they would sell them throughout the museums. And I found this at the NEC.
Right, yes, I remember seeing that on your video. Yeah.
So this I think is probably one of those Smithsonian dinosaurs.
Yeah,
in the museum. Yeah.
They just took the motorized elements out of the larger ones, but aside from that, they used the exact same molds.
Yeah. So you can see it's got Tycho up there, which is the guys who did the Dino Riders. Yeah. So weirdly, in the same show, I bought first of all in the morning, I bought the Styracosaurus, the Dino Riders version. That was the first thing I bought. And this was the last thing I bought as I was walking out the door, the Styracosaurus. It was like, what? What's the chances of that? So, yeah, picked up those. Shall I carry on? You can tell me when to stop.
Yeah.
And then, and then I think they were. Scotty can probably tell you where they were used after that.
Put me back on.
Yeah, let me grab you up on there.
And then Dave, they reused them 6 years later for Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Oh, right. Cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Exactly the same.
Yep.
that's right.
But it's crazy because when you look at the card back, like it's very much a 90s toy, but it's a super 80s dino mold. They're a bit of a hodgepodge.
That's awesome. I love it how
Yeah,
I love how
interesting.
they do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have we picked up? Well, let's see. Do you want me to carry on, or just you want to?
Yeah,
shift
keep
something
going.
else?
Look at Dave. Oh, I've just got so much stuff.
I'm going back. I'm going back. I don't know how many months I'm going back here because I don't really show new stuff on the channel anymore. I don't. No, I don't do that. I don't do.
My diamond shoes don't fit, and my wallet's too small for my 50s.
No, actually, I can't blame Steve for this, but he's helping me out. So these are Galaxy Rangers.
Oh, I do like them. They do look cool.
Yeah.
On them.
So
one of those are on Australian eBay, Dave. Actually, at the moment.
Sorry, what was that?
One of those are on Australian eBay at the moment. No,
right, cool.
They want $150 for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just got one gun.
Well, this was at this is Kempton. So we were saying earlier about the small affairs you can kind of find, and sometimes you find a good deal. Well, Kempton is a small affair, and this was there, and it's like, you know what? You don't see these, especially it's got the sheriff's badge as well, and you just never see this.
It looks in good condition as well.
Yeah, it's a good condition one. That. So
that's complete.
Yeah, that's complete. That one.
Wow.
So Steve Darby, God bless him. He's like, hey, I found this for you. Okay, I'll take that. And his prices are just ridiculous.
Yeah, his prices are always good, aren't they?
Yeah. So I've got the hat for that one now. So that's complete. And then I've got a couple of others which are hidden away. So I've got 4 now for those.
G'day, Yeehaw. Welcome. This is
going all over the place now. What's that PCB, June? Pulsar. Does anyone remember this guy?
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
Beautiful piece.
Yeah. So, and the back of his, or the front of his head comes off. Which one is it? I think the back. I don't want to break it. Anyway, the back of his head comes off, and there's some discs that you can insert in there and stuff. I've also got the play set down there. So this is Andy from Hollow Chronicles. They picked up a huge collection in the States, which is mostly Star Wars, but there are also some other vintage items in there which are picked up. So Pulsar was one, which also came with.
Take your shirt off. Take your shirt off, Dave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
And so cool.
Yeah, you're supposed to pump the blood, but the blood now, I guess, is kind of all
dry.
But you can see
solidified.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah. You've got to put your own blood in it, I think.
And then I like the indie stuff. So from Andy, I picked up a load of indie bits, loose items, because so we got let's see. There's a loose indie there.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
His whip there as well. Did that have his whip as well?
Yeah.
His whip in there,
Yeah, it's got the whip on there on the side. Yeah.
That looks great. Wow.
Yeah.
He's got his drink holding hand out too.
Well, that's the thing. He has his thumb.
He's ready to have a schooner. See, he's got his hand out.
Yeah, exactly. He has got the rarest accessory of all, which is his thumb. They're always broken. Yeah. There's a Marion.
Oh, Marion.
Wow.
That's not a Stan Solo one either. That's a real one.
Wow. Yeah, that's the original one. And we've got the stand and the monkeys in there. So when Andy did this deal, which was mostly for vintage Star Wars, he was saying that there were two brothers, and so they had like duplicates of a lot of stuff, and they kept all the stuff in immaculate condition. So and they had all the indie stuff. So yeah, I spent an evening with Andy on Zoom just going through it all and trying to add up and getting to a good price. And yeah, he did a good deal for me.
As well. Wow.
Yeah. So I think I got most of the figures indie in German disguise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just trying to get there, and there's the mechanic.
General mechanic. Yeah. He came with a wrench, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which I've seen there. Okay. Cool.
So just to jump in, Dave. Sorry, I thought you had a like almost a complete indie collection, didn't you, in your cabinet? Am I totally wrong there?
No, you're not wrong. So I nearly have two complete indie.
Don't get me wrong, they look amazing, but I was sat there going, "You already got these."
One's carded.
Right.
And I wanted to try and get them loose, so these are the loose ones.
G'day, Ed 5.
Hey, Dan.
G'day, Dan.
Including. See, all these are all wrapped up. They're all in the boxes and wrapped up. This is the state I'm in right now.
This is why you should have a regular postage video.
Yeah. I could, and there's his indie horse.
Wow.
You don't see these very often loose like this with all the bits. And if you press the, which side is it? I don't want to break it.
Action feature, has it?
Which side is it? Oh, it's that side. There we go.
Oh no way!
I think he'd just stay on the spot doing that, wouldn't he?
So those figures were that horse and those figures were based on the design of a previous Kenner line. The was it Butch and the Sundance Kid?
Yeah, the early days.
Yeah. So that's where that's come from.
Yeah. They had a few of those down at Lobo's. I don't know if you guys remember them when we were there. They had a few of those figures, but they're on card. Just way too much money.
Yeah.
You still searching for more indie figures back then? Make you
yes, I remember.
There's some more indie stuff.
Yeah, I remember
There's all these.
Oh my god! Look at this.
Am I back to front? Is this back to front?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It is backwards. Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Hang on, let me just see if I can change that.
Lucky we can read backwards.
Lucky it's such an iconic box. We don't need to read it to know.
Yeah, I don't think it matters, Dave.
So this is a grail item for me. If you know, I collect the Karate Kid line. It seems that no one else really wants to. There's like a small Facebook group with some dedicated Karate Kid collectors. Yeah, trying to find these sets boxed in the UK is near damn impossible. But I went to Sandown, and it was the first thing I saw. I thought about it, and it was like, yeah, I'm going for it. But it wasn't just that one. There was another one as well. That's on the back there. So these are all complete. I promised I was going to make these up and post an Instagram photo, but I haven't done that yet. So I will do it at some point. There's that one, and then
they're gorgeous. Like to see them in that condition is just amazing.
Yeah.
There we go. Sure. And then we got this one, Sato's Cannery.
Yeah, I do like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a little damage on the box just here. I might better do something about that. But
that's where he kicked it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, it's all. I don't think they've been used. The bits are in bags and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool.
Mr. Miyake tried to get out. That's all.
He got angry with it.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm sure there's other. I mean, there's restoration things. So there's a couple of restoration projects like an R2 and there's a 12-inch R2, which is the Palatoy one, which is a talking R2. So I'm going to restore that. And then there's a vintage Y-wing as well that I'm going to restore. So yeah, I mean, like I say, ever since sort of beginning of September, it's been Toy Fair season here. So it's every time I go out, it's like, oh, pick that up. It's awesome.
Wow. That's amazing. It's amazing finds. Scotty?
No, not really.
That's fun.
I mean,
After all
like all my CollectorCon stuff from a couple of weeks ago, is being in a video. The other stuff that's arrived is in a video that's going out next week. So not really. No. Hopefully, I'll find some good stuff. Hopefully, I'll find a couple of good bits at Hurstville tomorrow, and then CollectorCon next weekend. But no, as we sit here right now, nothing that you wouldn't have already seen on my Instagram or in a video. So I'll pass the baton over to Luke.
He's gone.
I've done mine.
Oh, sorry to
Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Andrew, you want to show anything?
Yeah, I got stuff to show.
Ooh, okay.
I went to this special collector's place last weekend, and I picked up.
You kept that quiet.
and I
He's
picked
being
up
a
this.
sneaky bugger.
I picked up this if I could get back.
Oh, cool.
Captain Symbion's Primate Avenger. And actually, Matt gave it to me for my birthday. I was always eyeing it off at his place.
Oh, I knew I'd seen that before.
I have never seen it. I've never seen that before. I have no idea about this
And
line.
I got it out of the box here. Well, it was loose as well at Matt's, but it's a big bloody thing. But yeah, he gave it to me for my birthday, and I'm so appreciative
wow.
because I do absolutely love it.
Oh, that's huge as well. Wow.
It is. It's a massive bloody playset, yeah. And that's the ship. And anyway, because I want to do a video on it, and it came had some figures, so we had the figures with it as well. The Space Monkey figures.
What year are these from, Andy? I have no idea. I never heard
96.
of it.
96, yeah.
So Scotty, you can collect them because it's in the 90s.
96 too late for me, mate. Too modern.
Too modern?
No, 96 makes
These packets, see how they actually, it's a bit of a shame to take them out because they actually spin in the packet.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like if they're in space, So that's
so cool.
Wow.
That's pretty clever, isn't it? Yeah. So that was great. There's a couple of other ships, but around, but that's the main playset's good. I also picked up something for Scotty might like. He's for the Mutagens wing. Is this bloody big monster?
Ah, the Mega Mutant. Yeah.
The Mega Mutant. Yeah. It's a weird looking thing, isn't it? That goes with the turtles.
Andrew, you've seen the film, haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Well, you haven't seen it yet.
No, because what I do is I get the toys and then I reenact the film in my head, my way. So, and anyway, something back from this one as well. The 66 Bat Boat.
Oh, wow.
Hello?
Yeah, that's nice. Wow.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me I dropped out again.
No, we can hear you.
No, we can see you.
Andrew, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yep. Andrew's having some technical difficulties.
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear us, Andrew?
Can you see me still?
Yeah.
Just as I brought up the Bat Boat, I couldn't hear anyone. I thought everybody hated it, so I put it back down again.
Unsilenced.
So I picked up this. This is the McFarlane one, the 66 Batmobile. Bat Boat.
Nice, that.
And
Wow.
what else got? The Wayne Manor Library. So got the because and that can go on top of the other one where it goes down to the back cave. So I can actually put it in the shelf. I'll put it in the shelf and have that one underneath of it, like they're going down to it.
Yeah.
So I like the McFarlane ones, the McFarlane stuff. Yeah. What else did I get? I got some.
It's amazing how much stuff they're pushing out for that line, isn't it?
It's really good. I love it. It's the only thing we didn't get it was the little TV that played the series. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Because it's in scale to that, so it looked good in their office.
Yeah.
They play over the TV, so I'd have to try find one of them. What else I get? Matt gave me some G.I. Joes. I think these are sort of new ones, aren't they, Matt? 2003. 2003, I think they are.
Oh, sure.
So
I thought
that's what it says on the back of it. So
does it?
so I'll take them out and integrate them into somewhere on the flag.
Mm-hmm.
And
when was your birthday, Andrew? I've missed it, I guess.
a couple of weeks ago.
Happy birthday a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. It's all right when you get old. You don't real worry, you know. What else I got? I picked up some from Matt. Adam, friend of ours from Matt. Adam.
Yeah, Adam just we meet him at the toy shows. Yeah, so
I picked up
stuff,
the Beast Man.
Man, yeah, nice.
Yeah. These are the Origins ones. So
the Origins for this,
yeah, so they're hard to get, and I got an Orco. I was lucky to get. He sold me a Scare Glow, which are pretty hard to get. Apparently. Yeah.
Mm.
So I was happy with that, and they which one's that? So it's got the parts. I haven't clicked. I think they clip in like that. Like that. There we go. So just clip in. And come with the does the stand slip into the grey skull? I think, doesn't it?
I'm not sure. I haven't put my grey skull out.
I know one of them does. One of the other one of the other ones. It's actually can slip into it up the top of it. But yeah, so that's sort of my pickups I got. I mean, there was some stuff that Matt had there for me. So
Happy birthday, belated birthday wishes from Pete, by the way.
Thanks, Pete. No worries.
And Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm going to make you back to regular size. I want to, because I can't believe time. It just sips away from us. Like it's already nearly like an hour and a half into it. And I want to have a chat about a topic that we is basically from Luke's video, I think from last week. One of the topic, it was interesting because I think one of the topics we wanted to talk about was if we could select a toy line that we could bring back nowadays, like something from the 80s, what would it be and why and how would you bring it back? And I think Luke's video from last week touched a little bit about he thought mask. So I thought I'd kick off the discussion. I don't mind if you guys don't mind about what kind of toy line or two that you'd think that they could bring back these days. I know we're not all really modern collectors, but we are vintage collectors, so maybe we've got some ideas on how they could do something. But Luke, I guess we'll start with you. I thought yours was about the mask, and I had a few questions for you. I thought, how would you bring mask back? Would you bring it back exactly the way it was in the 80s?
Well, I mean, I didn't really touch on huge amounts of detail in the video, really. I just wanted to show the toy line and say, look, in a time where nearly every toy line has been rebooted from sort of back in the day, this is the one, for me, this is the one glaring toy line at the moment that we still haven't had. But, I mean, in my opinion, for me, I would just want a straight-up reissue of the vintage, very much like Star Wars The Retro Collection. Just give me it again. Brand new shiny boxes, everything in bags still. A brand new gleaming Thunderhawk or whatever, but a straight up copy of the vintage. For me, that is what I would want. However, I wouldn't be adverse to it being updated slightly. If you want to articulate the figures a bit more, because, 2.75 figures, you think, well, they can't have huge amounts of articulation. But they're actually quite articulated for tiny figures. They don't have elbow joints. So if you wanted to update the figures slightly, giving them elbow joints, and update the vehicles slightly if you want. But for me, they've got to stay the same scale. They've got to stay 2.75 figures and the same scale for the vehicles. I won't be adverse to slightly updated, but they've got to stay the same scale. Cool. Purely because even if you make them 3.75 figures, how big has then Rhino got to be? to accommodate a 3.75 figure. How big has Outlaw got to be? So I think if you upscale the figures, I think you potentially risk sacrificing the vehicles. And the whole focus of Mask as a toy line is the vehicles, not the figures. So, you know, someone said to me after the video, someone contacted me privately and said, wouldn't you just love to see 6-inch Mask figures? I said, well, no, not really, because as good as I'm sure they would be, the focus is the vehicles. I never once remember saying to my mum, I want Matt Tracker. I said, Mum, I want Thunderhawk. You know, Mum, I want Jackhammer. I didn't say I want Cliff Dagger, because I want Jackhammer. So if you had a 6-inch line, you just wouldn't get the vehicles. I mean, there was already complaints when we were kids by a lot of the kids. They didn't like the fact that Rhino didn't fit in Boulder Hill. And the most prominent scene in the intro on Mask is you see Rhino driving out of Boulder Hill. So everyone was like, Rhino. So I personally wouldn't mind if they updated them or just kept them straight up vintage. I would just love to see them back, but I think they've got to keep the scale the same. Otherwise, I think it just wouldn't work. Just my opinion, of course.
Of course. I'm not too familiar with like the Mask cartoon. I have to admit, I didn't really watch it as a kid. Was there a lot of characters that they didn't have that were in the cartoon that they didn't produce figures for, Luke, and that maybe they could? There
were. No, I mean the most obvious one is Gloria Baker and Shark. That character was never produced, and she was quite prominent early on in the cartoon. Now we've had independent companies like Ramen Toys have jumped in, and they've done a Red Gullwing, which they weren't allowed to call it Thunderhawk. They've called it a Red Gullwing, but it's slightly bigger than. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but it's slightly bigger scale than the original Thunderhawk. So as beautiful as it is, I didn't go in for it because I just thought, well, look, I've got a Thunderhawk. I don't kind of feel the need for it. But they are very close to going in for. They have produced Gloria Baker and Shark, which is a Porsche 928, and that was never released back in the day. Now there's various different theories about why it was released, but the most why it wasn't released. Sorry, but the most prominent one is it was in a time where we had the James Bond amphibious Lotus. I forget what film it was that the White Lotus that went into the water and turned into a submarine. So I don't know. This isn't set in stone, but the rumor is that when Kenner were looking at producing the Shark, whoever from James Bond came in and went, no, you're not producing that because it's too similar to what we've got, and you are. Now I don't know how true that is. It's just a rumor. The rest of them generally. There weren't many that weren't produced. So the Shark weren't produced. In one of the episodes, there's a huge blue and orange aircraft carrier that flies a lot of the Rhino and Firecracker to a mission that is out in Asia or somewhere like that, and they do a vehicle drop, if you like. That was never produced, but again, some customizers are doing that now, sort of 3D print and stuff like that. But yeah, there were many vehicles not produced. Most of them were, but the Shark was the most prominent one that we never got, and the aircraft carrier as well. Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting. I think that if they did a good job, whoever had the license, I think you mentioned Super 7, was it?
Well, I don't know for certain, but it's rumored that Super 7 have acquired the license to produce mass toys. Whether they do or not, I don't know.
Okay, I think if they did a job similar to Mattel, Mattel have gone all in with the Motu stuff, and they're taking some good risks with some play sets. You can see that with Eternia and now the Snake's Lair vehicles, and everything's very similar to the vintage, but it's just been a little bit improved with and if someone did that, I think it would absolutely
absolutely. Like I said, I wouldn't be adverse to them being updated. I just think the scale's got to be the same, but after that, no, I think some slight updates, I would welcome it.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a wonder no one sort of picked that up. I think people must be screaming for it, are they?
Well, I think my suspicion is that I think you forget that when Mask was hit the shelves in '85, you look at some of the toy lines it was up against. Star Wars was still kicking around. Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe. There was some juggernaut lines that it was up against. So as great as it was, I think it didn't really have a fighting chance. It was possibly a victim of when it was released. The toy line ran from 85 to 88. The cartoon only ran for 2 seasons. So it came and went fairly quick. So I suspect Hasbro just look at it as a line and go, it weren't massively popular when it was released in the 80s. Why would we do it again now? But personally, I'm with you. I think there would be. I think people would buy it, but I think Hasbro are too busy thinking it's not Star Wars. It's not G.I. Joe. It's not. It's probably not going to explode, and that's, I kind of suspect that's what they want. But which is a shame. But I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's living hope. Who'd like to go next? How about Dave? Have you got a line?
I think it's well known. I don't really collect modern stuff, right? I do have some modern stuff. So the bits I tend to buy are complementary to the vintage line, and I'm kind of torn about. I'm torn between whether I like the idea of reissuing lines or not. And I think there's two categories, right, of a reissue. You've got the category where, like Mattel, which I think is the best example of a reissue. They've taken their property, they've modernized it for today's world, but it has all the essence of the vintage line. So it isn't a one-to-one replica of what the original figure was. There are updates, and they have gone all in, right? They've said, right, we're going to try and issue all the figures pretty much, and they've gone beyond what was in the original line. Plus, they've chucked in a few of the play sets and everything else. So, I think that is the example of how to do a reissue.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
If I look at what Hasbro has done, well, I think, if you look at those retro lines, you look at the Indiana Jones, for example, they kind of just half-heartedly had a go. They stick to the figures, and let's be frank about this. Those figures are not the greatest quality figures when you look at the originals. I'm kind of torn. What I do like about the Indiana Jones and some of the other retro line is that they extend, right? They complement. They go where the originals, vintage line didn't go back in the day, and they extend and they complement what's already there. And I love that. So, of course, us vintage collectors go and buy all the new stuff that wasn't originally there. It complements it very nicely. And I think and that's the thing with Mask, is what do you do? Do you basically replicate what was already there, or do you go and modernize it? And I think that's the problem. And the issue, the other problem is that it's all owned by blinking Hasbro, right? That's I think is actually one of the biggest issues. We've got this basically gorilla of a company who is dominating the modern toy world, and they don't really have to go and put all the effort in that they need to, because they've got so many lines and they're pushing out stuff left, right, and center all over the place. They're really competing with themselves. So I can imagine all the meetings that they have internally where they talk about budgets and they go, well, we can't give you all that budget because we're putting it over here. Oh, and if you release that line, it's going to compete with this line over. I can imagine all of those meetings that are going on in the executives at Hasbro. So for them, it's really just about pushing stuff out and making as much money as they can on that stuff for the modern stuff. Really, I think we need more smaller independent companies to go back and re-release modernized versions of what was already there, like Mattel have done with Motu, and then I think it would work really well. This is why I'm torn, because I like the idea, but the executions I've seen so far are not great. Apart from the one, maybe. Yeah, and if there's one line, I was thinking about, well, what would I like to be re-released? If there's one line, I think that I love somebody to go back and revisit, and you could argue NECA have already done this. It's Tron. I would like I'd like to go back to the original Tomy Tron figures and those bikes and add to it. So let's have the tanks, let's have the recognizers, let's have all the other characters, and in that situation really go with the original style.
Yeah. And imagine if you got a play set of the gaming grid, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. Imagine that.
Exactly, yeah. So I think NECA basically did what they did, which was to take what was already available and just rehashed it in different color schemes and stuff. But they didn't go beyond that. So yeah, I'd love to. That's the line I'd love somebody to go and revisit and do a good job of.
Yeah. Okay. There wasn't too many of those, was there? There was just like 4 figures in the original line and a couple of
and the cycles.
Two life cycles.
Two life cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. wasn't much of a lot at all. And Scotty, you're similar to Dave in a lot of ways. You
100%. 100%. I mean, I'm an 80s and 90s collector through and through. Yeah, So I have mixed feelings about straight re-releases. I like them for the fact that there's a consumer that enjoys them, and that's cool. Like I'm a no right or wrong way to collect, but I hate I'm someone that enjoys the thrill of the hunt for the vintage stuff, and I hate the idea of re-released accessories getting rinsed in through all that, and you know what I mean. I don't like I don't like that aspect of it. So really, if I had to pick a line to be re-released, there's a couple that come to mind, but I'm really saying these. I'm coming to this from the perspective of someone who's having challenges in collecting vintage because of financial and logistical, challenges. The big one for me is Dino Riders. Is obviously something we've spoken about. Like, I love that line. They're really hard to collect, though. I think a lot of these lines are harder in Australia. Like it seems to be more challenging here. I mean, and Dino Riders is a challenging one because it's an expensive line to collect. But also, even if money's not an object, they didn't really survive the test of time too well. The belly straps just disintegrate. And even the plastic accessories, even if you find like a really nice example, usually they'll have some issues. Like I'll see a beautiful complete T-Rex pop up, and the description on eBay, the title of the listing will say, please read. And when you get down to the description, it's like, here's a laundry list of issues that it has. But hey, this is still like a really good example. So theoretically, if whoever had the license to that nowadays, basically did a straight re-release, I'd probably, in theory, love that, because I'd love to, I'd love to be able to collect Dino Riders. But again, part of me thinks that if that happened tomorrow, deep down, I know that I probably wouldn't, because I'd rather say, you know what, no, let's keep hunting for the vintage, because the harder it is to find some of this stuff, the more satisfying it is when you eventually do. And I'm nothing if not patient. So Dino Riders is definitely one that comes to mind. The other one that's on my mind at the moment that would be that I think would be interesting, and maybe it's just because we're at Halloween and I'm working on a video that kind of relates to this a little bit, is the Remco Mini Monsters line. They're really difficult to find here in Australia, like the vintage Remco Universal Monsters in the 3 3/4 inch scale. They're really tricky to find here, and when you find them, they're either super expensive or they're in pretty rough shape when you do, on the odd occasion find them. I think it would be really cool to get a re-released Remco Mini Monsters, but not a straight re-release, like maybe like a slight update, same scale. See, the thing with where I come from is, if I could take a sidestep, like there's characters in the vintage TMNT animated series that never got figures. So if we got some of these characters that would be an extension to my vintage collection, and it was in the same scale and the same style, that would be one thing that I could probably get myself into. But again, like, it's got to be the same scale and the same style, even if the articulation's slightly updated. So I think a Remco style 3 3/4 inch Universal Monsters line in that same body style, and maybe with some of the characters we didn't get, like Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, some of these other characters. That would be one that would appeal to me as well. And I know there's been a million different Universal Monsters lines, in recent years between NECA and, Reaction, which is not something that really does it for me. But yeah, a re-released Remco Mini Monsters line, slightly updated with some additional characters and maybe some additional play sets. Like in that vintage line, there was the Haunted House play case, but maybe, a spooky graveyard type vibe or something with all those Universal Monsters characters would be kind of cool. So those are the ones that come to mind. But again, these things could happen tomorrow, and I'd be a snob about it and be like, well, they're not vintage, so no.
Yes, Scott.
So I don't know. I got a funny relationship.
Remco, like, well, who's got the? I don't know who bought out though. Who's got the licensing for that? But Mattel could go, oh, look, here's Scott Crusher. Let's give him some figures. Let's see if he'll buy them from, get these. You'd still knock them back, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the vintage, mate. You know what I mean?
No, you do.
There's something about the soul that vintage toys have that I just I love. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I understand. And Mr. Andrew, I think someone has mentioned yours up here, Andrew.
Yes, they have.
Here
The
he is.
Micronauts. Now that's 70s, of course. Yeah,
Yep.
and was one of the earliest toy lines that I got. Apart from that, from Big Jim, and so I love Big Jim back then in the day too. But I like and actually redo some of the other IPs, like I know like the Indiana Jones ones, but things like Buck Rogers and things like that. But if I could grab my camera and show you,
Sure.
just here,
We did
and
joke about
turn
this
it
guy.
around,
We'll let Andrew run off and do this.
and I wouldn't mind if they did some of these, some of the
Battlestar.
yeah, the
Battlestar
Battlestar,
Galactica there, and of course
Yeah.
one of my favorites, Walt Disney's The Black Hole, and
Oh, right.
and things like that. Because with the Battlestar Galactica, they did vehicles that didn't fit the figures,
correct.
and and things like that. I wouldn't mind them redoing that and doing some of the vehicles that they've that they showed the concepts that they were going to do, the play sets and things like that. I wish they'd do sort of like those toys that they said that they had the plans to do, but they never did put them in production.
yeah, that's a great point, and that can apply to any toy line. Like where you see like Toy Fair catalogs, images of the wave that wasn't meant to be of any given toy line. That stuff would be really cool to see.
Yeah, because in that the Black Hole, they did the ship, the smaller ship they did, and they never produced it and things like that, and play sets, and Mego was big for that. They just sort of didn't do them, did they, Matt? They sort of got to the end of it and didn't produce them, or did a prototype. But yeah, but I mean, but you got to have something to complement it now, don't you? Really. It's got to be sort of bigger than just if the IP is just for one-off film, like the Black Hole, they're not going to do it, are they?
This is why we need more smaller independent toy companies.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Because Hasbro's not going to go anywhere near there because, like I say, those executives are going to be saying, well, there's just not enough return on that investment, and I think those smaller toy lines. There's something about small toy lines I love. I love the idea that there are those lines that only have like 10 characters or 10 figures ever made in a couple of ships or vehicles, and I think those are ripe for going back and maybe replicating some of the original figures, but then adding those extensions, as you say, going into those prototypes and all that kind of stuff. And that would, if there are some independent toy companies out there, that's and they had the licensing, of course. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Then I think they could do a great job of going back and because they would I know that those smaller independents would put the effort in and would want to produce quality stuff because they are likely to have just as much kind of attraction to it and love of those lines than we do, right? Rather than just this big blob of Hasbro who, I'm sure there are some people in there who have a real passion for this, but there's a lot of people in there who don't. So, I want to see more smaller independent toy companies come through, and then I think we might see a lot more of this stuff come out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, smaller toy lines do appeal. Actually, I mean Sectors. I love Sectors. There's only 9, and you look at them and you think they're great, and the finish line is immediate. So, right, 9 figures, I can do that. Supernaturals. I mean, with not the Ghostlings, but there was 6 figures. I can do that. But I think, I agree, Dave. Yeah.
I really like the idea that Phil suggested when we were talking Dino Riders, like accessory packs, re-releasing accessory packs to put on the naked dinos, like to release them in different coloured plastic, so there's no mixing them up with the vintage versions. That something like that would be awesome. I mean, but again, like no major toy company's going to do that. That's the kind that it would be a talented customizer that would do that. And
Mattel's got a really. I mean, look, all they have to do is Mattel is put a saddle on it and have some figures, and they could do Dino Riders, couldn't they? you know, with their dinosaur line, you know, because it'd be modernised then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. For sure.
You know, obviously they have to buy the IP, I suppose, and
or they could just call it something different and make it more contemporary and just do their own thing with it. But yeah,
it's whether they haven't sort of evolved that with the Jurassic Park sort of thing where they have the military weaponize the dinosaurs or something like that, because that could really go into a good toy line like that, couldn't it?
I'm kind of surprised that Dino Riders wasn't bigger than it was, just from my own personal experience. Like, I remember going over, you know, during the holidays, going and staying with my auntie and uncle and my cousins, and my cousin being like maybe 4 years older than me. And it was the same cousin that introduced me to Masters of the Universe. It was the same cousin that introduced me to wrestling. And he had some Dino Riders. And I was just, and obviously every kid loves dino. I mean, hey, Luke, you're not into dinos, are you? Let me take that back.
No, okay, no, it's all right.
Hang on a minute. What did he show earlier from Transformers?
Of course,
but that's Transformers. I mean, that's Transformers.
Those are dinosaurs, mate. Those are dinosaurs.
Yeah, they are, but they're Transformers. Straight up dinosaurs, like Jurassic Park toys, stuff. No, I do this.
Fair enough. I just remember as like a 6 or 7 year old just seeing these alien warriors on, you know, with laser weapons on these dinosaurs with brain boxes, and just thinking, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
you know. So I think Dino Riders is cool.
I don't know how expensive. Were they expensive back in the day? I don't know what the prices were for those things, but
I'm not too sure.
They were plentiful in Australia. It was definitely a toy line that was quite plentiful. Like, even we had them as kids. And Andrew knows someone that has the whole set.
Yeah, still got the accessories on the sprues and everything.
From the 80s. Yeah. Like he's got.
And I've been hounding him ever since.
Keep chipping away, Andrew.
Yeah, just sort of chip him away. You know. I said, "Oh no, you're going to get desperate one day," you know.
Yeah,
log it off. But yeah, it'd be if to get it all would be another. You wouldn't know where to put it anyway. It's
good problem to have.
Especially some of those.
I think superpowers, like what McFarlane are doing with superpowers, isn't too bad either. Like they're releasing similar figures, but not exactly the same as the 80s, and they're adding more figures in there, more characters as well that people can add into their existing superpowers. Plus, we're getting things like the Invisible Jet, which we've just never seen, and they
did they have that, haven't you?
I do, yeah, and it's all in the same.
No one's seen the Invisible Jet, have they?
Well, you can't find it. Maybe somewhere.
You got it. Close. Show it, Matt. Pick it up.
Okay. What is that?
But the McFarlane superpowers are a different scale, aren't they? Or are they the same?
No. Same scale.
Okay.
So what was that? 4 inch, 5 inch?
4 inch, yeah, something like that. 5 inch, maybe, yeah.
So that's can you see that?
Oh wow!
So Wonder Woman is in there. So you press the button here. I can't find the button.
It's invisible.
Oh, that's it. It's the one in the front. There you go. So there she is sitting in there. So they've updated Wonder Woman. They've given her a cloth cape as well. So instead of the other one, which was just, they didn't give her the magic lasso. So So instead, they've got the magic lasso, actually in the Invisible Jet.
Right. Okay.
So,
and they blend in so well, don't they, Matt, with the original line?
They do, and that's why I think I got it, because I can add some characters, I can add a couple of new vehicles. It's what they're kind of similar doing to the Mattel stuff with the Motu stuff. So I'm close. But otherwise, my toy line I thought would be like Clash of the Titans. They could have probably. Well, I mean, the Kraken was the big one.
Yeah,
and they've got a Pegasus, but there was a couple of more creatures, like there's definitely the Medusa. You could put her in there, and of course, there was probably a few more characters that you could chuck in there as well, and maybe like that 3 3/4 articulation probably could be updated a little bit as well, but keep it at that same size as it once was. The Pegasus was just so static, though. I feel that they could probably update maybe the Pegasus a little bit, and maybe even the Kraken, because the Kraken was just these four floppy arms that just sort of.
But with that, Matt, they could do a Ray Harryhausen line, really, just not do one film.
Well, they do a Ray Harryhausen line, and my mind has gone complete blank on who does the line.
And that's in the statues, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's statues, so
they're big statues. But I mean, if they were going to do Clash of the Titans, they could expand the line into the other films and that, because they're still loved around the world, those films.
Okay, there's something.
So who produced Clash of the Titans? I can't remember. Was it Mattel?
Mattel.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Interesting because 1980, of course, was just prime Star Wars, and they interviewed. They were talking to Ray Harryhausen about it, and he thought he didn't know, but the toy line was a complete utter failure. They would put it in, like, not major toy shops. They would just put in, say, like a chemist version, and they'd chuck it in the back somewhere, because there was the distributors, like the retail stores, they weren't allowed. They were basically being forced by Kenner to hold, like, Star Wars. They were trying. It's such a little line. They weren't allowed to hold the Mattel figures as well, and so he thought they were a failure because they were just crap. But in actual fact, the distribution of the Clash of the Titans figures was pushed aside, so into small little stores. So they just didn't sell. So yeah, it's made them quite collectible, though.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any?
Yeah. So it's another example of a small line which could be revisited.
Definitely. I just pulled that one out of my butt, actually. Because I've asked you guys to think about it, and I'm sitting here going,
It's right in front of you too, Matt, isn't it?
I just like to sit here and listen and look at the chat. And
that Kraken, though, is such an iconic piece that regardless of what they did in bringing it back, it would probably not be received very well, just because it's one of those, like, legendary figures that, like, you just can't mess with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though like, to look at it objectively, like, it has some ways that it could be updated and improved. But yeah, it's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like, it would. Most of the people. I don't know how big Clash of the Titans is within the community, though. Like, I don't see a lot of people with the Clash of the Titans line. So
yeah, but I tend to think like that it commands the price it does, because there's lots more people that want them than that there are Krakens out there.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Although, having said that, I would like to get a Kraken. I mean, they are expensive, though. But so I've been doing. You do searches on eBay. I've had searches on eBay now for 6 months. They come up all the time.
Oh,
it's one of those weird things in this collecting world, right? Where people go, "Oh, that's rare. That's why it demands, whatever, $1,000 or whatever it might be." But then, it's like Yak Face and all these other things. But then you go around the show and you see
They're not rare.
there's like 5 of them just there, or whatever, or on eBay they come up all the time. So you do wonder what keeps the price high. It's just it's. I'd love to get one of those.
I could get on my soapbox about this subject all day. Maybe another stream.
Yeah, or maybe it's just finding one that's in good quality. That they're the ones that demand the money, perhaps. Yeah,
because often the tail is broken.
Yeah.
So it might be that, and sometimes just the arms, because it's all on a ball joint. And I think sometimes it just cracks. Just obviously, 40-year-old plastic doesn't hold up too well sometimes, especially if a kid has. I couldn't imagine that as a kid playing with that. Like, that would, I don't know how long that would last as a kid. Like,
no,
I'm sure you'd probably break something pretty quickly.
Can I say one more line?
Mm-hmm.
The $6 Million Man. I'd love them to bring back those dolls. Bring back some of the there's like he fights a Mars robot I might have spoken to before. The toy's really rare. And at the beginning he had that NASA test shuttle. I think if they did that with him in it in the suit and things like that, I'd definitely go for that. The $6 Million Man, just one of my favorite toys that I played with all the time. Looking through his head with that the little lens and things like that, cranking his arm up.
Just bring them all back. Bring them all back. Bring Brave Star back. Bring Rambo back so I can get a Dr. Hyde. Bring all these lot. Just get them
that's
all.
right. Why aren't they doing this for 50-year-old men?
Well, I think a lot of them do it for us, don't they? A lot of these toy lines are created for us.
Bring everything back and watch Scott melt.
Make Scott collect it. We just give him one of each, and he has to then collect the lines.
I mean, like, I'll be honest. I wish that I liked some of it. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't like it because, you know, wandering around CollectorCon, I like being able to see it all. You know, being able to see it all up close and enjoy it. But it's just I don't enjoy it enough to fork over my money when I could be spending that money on something that appeals to me more. So,
have you watched some of the old IPs, like the $6 Million Man series or something like that? Have you?
I haven't seen that series. No.
Yeah, you should grab some of the old 70s ones and and watch them. You'll probably enjoy them.
Yeah, I'm sure I would. Yeah, I'm sure I would for sure.
I mean, on a serious note, I mean, just quickly jumping back to what Scott said earlier. On a serious note, I get the whole, you know, even if they're an official product now, you know, new accessories are going to get mixed in with old accessories, and I get all that pain of collecting if you just want to collect vintage. I understand that. I think some people take it to an extreme, but I understand the headache that you get from that. I think the reason why I like reissues so much, and when I say I like them, I don't like them all because I think some are, like Dave says, are a little bit half-assed. They're just released with it. Let's just get them out and people will buy them regardless of quality. But what I like about them, it's like Star Wars, the Retro Collection, for example. Yes, they lack in quality in a lot of areas. But what I love about them, especially in Star Wars as a toy franchise, is it does allow a lot of people to think, you know what? I can finally have a Luke Bespin on card. I can finally have a Boba Fett on card. And to some people, it's the only one they'll ever have. You know, they can't afford vintage carded stuff. So if a retro line gives them a chance to have something on card for 15 quid and to be able to look at it and it satisfies them for their collecting needs, then I'm all for it. You know, if it allows people to buy these things and go, you know what, that still gives me that nostalgic kick and memory of, even though it's a 15 quid retro collection figure, I'm all for that. Because I think, you know, and I think we'll all agree on this, that whether you've got huge amounts of money, small amounts of money, we're all collectors and it's for everybody, this sort of hobby. And that's what I love about the re-releases. It does give people that can't afford the vintage stuff a chance to have these items in their collection to satisfy them, whether they're new ones or not. But on the other side of the coin, I understand that it does bring a headache to purely vintage collectors as well. I get that. I really do.
Well said. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like we've all like there's got to be items out there for everybody to collect in their own way. So yeah, no, I totally get it.
I think you're right, Scott. I think things should be, especially let's just say TMNT accessories, because I know you're obviously a TMNT fan. You might be able to tell me, is there a way? So, for example, let's just say you walk into a toy shop and you find a bag full of TMNT accessories, but they're re-released. They're from an open re-release. Could you tell? Is there a way to identify them, or
not that I know? I mean, I'm sure there's people that are deeper into it than I am, where it really, I'm sure there are ways. But see, the thing is, I don't have any re-releases myself to be able to take a close look at them. Like, I'm sure someone like, Dean from Totally Taylor Retro Hunters, who was in the chat earlier, who's got a lot of these re-releases. You know, when they re-released the Movie Stars and the Sewer Sports, like he went and bought them on card because he wanted carded examples. To your point, Luke, he wanted to be able to have his loose vintage collection and then have some beautiful, nice, fresh off the store, brand new glossy cards. I'm sure he would be in a better position to maybe say, hey, listen, they're not identical. Like you can tell them apart. But I don't know myself.
The plastics are different. Even with the when they did the Ghostbusters re-release, you can tell how with the plastic it is different to the older plastic.
Yeah, I think what I mean, you're right, Andy. It probably is, and like Scott said, to the season pro, you could probably pick them up and go, no, that. But I think they should be marked in some way so that anybody can pick it up and go, that's a new one, that's an old one. I get, I think
that's
rely on your ability to. You know,
like you were saying, look about saying doing mask again in the same scale and that, and I think that's why they do change the scale a bit so it doesn't piss off the vintage collectors. And it's like when they brought Star Wars back out in, was it 95, and they did a set of the original figures, and they were going to do that because they had the molds, and they were going to do the whole line in the original style, and it was going to piss the collectors off, so they changed it. You know, they changed it and made them those the roided looking ones and that. But with the newer stuff, you can definitely tell with the plastic, it's just not, the plastic is not.
But not everyone will be able to, will they? That's what I mean. Not everybody will be able to, though. There'll be some people out there that can pick up. You know, personally, I've been collecting Star Wars for years and years and years. You stick an original blaster in one hand and a repro one in the other, the chances are I won't be able to tell.
Yeah, you can with repo ones. Apparently, one floats and one sinks.
Yeah, that's not foolproof. You know, especially now the amount of quality reproductions that you can get on the market
in the plastic.
It's not foolproof. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but there are ways, but that's
The thing is, you can try and stamp out, right, all of the the making of all of these re-releases and what have you. But if you're a vintage collector, I've said this before, it's buyer beware. You have to do your research. You have to, look at the background of the seller. You've got to take into account a whole load of details, and then you make the decision as to whether you buy or not. And whether there are re-releases or not from the major toy lines makes no difference. You can still be caught out, right? And it does make it slightly easier, perhaps, for someone to go and grab a weapon from, say, a retro Star Wars figure or indie figure or whatever. Maybe it makes it slightly easier, but the thing is, wherever there's money, there are going to be people out there who are going to be making repros of these things. So it's, to me, I think the two. To me, I can sort of separate that and just say, look, there are re-releases. It's good that there are re-releases as long as they're done well, and all the discussion we had earlier. But at the same time, if you're going buying vintage, well, you've got to go in and you've got to be careful whatever you're buying. And it's not just Star Wars now. I've noticed now that other lines are beginning to get decent repros into that world. Even the indie figures now, the repros used to be pretty dodgy on the indie figures for the weapons and stuff and the whips and what have you. Now they're getting a lot better. So wherever you go, whether there's re-releases or not, you've got to be careful.
Yeah, I think it goes full circle to what you said right at the start as well, Dave, when we were talking about, all of us talking about prices on vintage Star Wars stuff. And I think part of that, especially at places like Echo, is I think a lot of the attitude is there's so much repro stuff out there now, especially for Star Wars. But here, we're saying if you want the genuine article, you've got to buy from us. But if you want to buy from us and it's guaranteed the genuine article, you've got to pay for it. And I think that's part of it as well now, Buy from us, we'll guarantee it's, I mean, they don't, but we'll guarantee it's genuine, but got to pay for it. Yeah.
I was yesterday, there was just, I don't know if this is a bit on topic, I guess. Like, I just wanted to make a point, like, go and watch this video from Nostalgia Button yesterday. I think, Scotty, you've watched it as well. Just, there's a group, company in Netherlands called The Next 17. And they're just produced, so it's a little bit like Stan Solo. I guess he's just kicking off, and he sent Sis 6 figures to review on his channel, and they look really cool. Some of them, there was a Luke, like a translucent Luke figure, and there was an Obi-Wan, and he looked really good. And he shows the card with these figures on there. I think I'm just giving him a bit of a plug here, to tell you the truth. I found the video completely fascinating. I love watching stuff about customized, like these type of figures. So I was just telling Mike about it because he might be interested in it as well. But anyway, I don't know if that was a little bit off topic.
I'll give it that a shot. I'll give that a shot.
But you like checking out these type of things too, Luke. So anyway,
he did the they did the what was it called, the Elephant Man? Is that the right?
He did.
I know. Yeah.
The name of the character, I can never remember.
Yeah.
That was the is it the baby Wampa they've got? They've got a baby Wampa as well.
Yeah, baby Wampa.
Yeah.
That was It was cute.
Yeah, pretty
But
cool.
no, I thought they were. It's always interesting, and I thought I'd give it a bit of a plug while we're here. Look, I'm really sorry, guys, but we've hit over 2 hours. I can't believe it. I know.
Yeah, wow, flown.
Midst of it all.
Well, it just flies.
It's incredible. Yeah, I'm sorry, chat. Like, I know you guys are in there having a good little chat amongst each other as well. It's usually Pete stirring people up in there.
We got one question. We got one question into my homework. I'm happy about
yes. That. Oh, what?
Yeah.
I know. Like, I cut off. I had a box to show, but look, I'm not going to do it. I'll just save it for another time. But I just wanted to have some kind of chat with you guys on a topic. I know we've still got a few topics that we'd like to cover. So,
well, we'll have to come back, won't we? We'll have to come back. That's the only thing to it.
Hopefully, a little bit quicker next time.
maybe. Yeah. I don't know what we're talking about. Like, why did we go so quick? Sorry. Anyway, we'll start. Do you want to do a quick like what's coming out, or did we kind of cover that at the beginning with what we're working on? Like, so I know Day. Yeah, what do you guys work like? Okay, well, just really quickly, give us a minute of what you're working on before we
go. Want to go, Dave?
Let's see. Yep. I have in the can, a new episode of Toy SOS. So I need to just finish the edit on that. So that will be coming. So that is a restoration. I'll probably do a few more restorations. I've done a lot of buying recently, so I'm gonna do a few more restorations. So yeah, that's probably what's coming up.
Okay, excellent. And you, Luke?
Yeah, I'm after last week's success, I'm back to show and tell. So I'll be back to 200 views. So yeah, just a few pickups coming. I've got a very nice gift box that I've received recently that's going to be shown in the next couple of weeks. And after that, I've got quite after that's quite an interesting one. I'm back into I suppose if I say that, I'm going to give away what the video is all about. But I'm back into asking the question about if it's worth buying incomplete items, because everyone will tell you to buy complete a lot of the time with collecting. But I'm asking the question: is it worth buying incomplete sometimes? So that's a video coming up as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah,
and it's based on a brand new toy line that I've just started collecting as well. So yeah,
very cool.
For that.
Okay,
awesome.
I mean, it's not brand new, but it's new to me. So
that's new to you. Yeah,
new to me.
Scotty?
Well, I've got the Mutagents TMNT live stream on Monday night, our Halloween special, which I'm looking forward to. I saw Yeehaws hopefully going to be joining us for that, so that's awesome. Anyone who's into TMNT, we're getting together on Monday night for us, Monday morning for Northern Hemisphere folks. For our Halloween special. So we're going to be looking at the Universal Monsters crossover with the TMNT, some other cool stuff. And then continuing with the Halloween kind of season, I've got a video that's going to be dropping next week that's looking at some Universal Monsters type stuff. Cool. Hey, Rolando. And then it's toy hunt season. We've got a bunch of toy fairs coming up. So I think beyond that, it'll just be the next couple of videos will be toy hunts, whether they're toy fair, toy hunts or meeting up with friends and doing some toy hunting in some other kind of environments. I'm looking forward to doing that. So always fun stuff to work on. The toy hunting videos take so long to edit, but they're always fun to put together. So
I've got to admit though, Scott, I love how you edit your toy hunt videos with you sort of cutting back and forth to yourself in the chat about it. I do like how you do it. So yeah,
appreciate it, mate. Look, to Dave's point, it's the trick is just trying to get the right footage at the show and being in the right state of mind to do that. You know what I mean? If I get a bunch of footage at the show, I know I can put together something half decent. So that's what I'm going to try to do these next couple of toy fairs coming up. So yeah, appreciate that though, mate.
No, I like how you do them. It's good.
I think Scott's inspired quite a few different YouTubers just on the. I know you don't like us talking about this stuff, Scott, but I think you have influenced a few different YouTubers on just the style of.
Oh, I've still loads of him. I've still loads of filming tips from Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, look, I only take it as a compliment, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've what should we say? What's the word? Influenced Yeah, but I've got stuff and I'm like, yeah, I like how he does that. I'm going to do that.
You're an influencer, Luke. You're not an influencer at all, buddy.
Inspired, that was it. I was going to say Scott's inspired some of my stuff, but I just stole it.
You're not an influencer, you're an inspiration. True. Andrew, what are you doing?
Well, I'll be appearing in the background of one of Scotty's videos at the Comic-Con, I suppose, trying to get in there and right on his
Andy's going to be practicing his Andy's going to be practicing his throwing.
Yeah. Good. Jumped at it. Throw a box at my head, and I'll go down like a sack of potatoes. Oh, no problem. Give me that box.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I'm starting. I've got a couple of things in the works. I don't really want to give it away because, we've spoken about it. It's just a bit of a surprise for somebody. I just want to celebrate their channel, and I just want to put something together for them. Stupid, but whatever. And we're going to work on. I want to work on our video as well. Our commercial with the Space 1999 one.
Awesome.
Just a couple of little things I'd like to work on the side. They never come out on a regular basis. A little bit like you, Dave. It's just when and where you can put them out, you do. I used to stress about it, but I don't too much anymore. Anyway, thank you very much, chat. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Dave,
welcome.
Luke, Scott.
Pleasure.
Always
no,
good.
thanks for having us. And Pete, I can see your comment, mate. No, the long locks haven't gone anywhere, mate. They're still here. I'm just trying to be professional today. You know, we've got it all tied back. But no, I'm still repping the long hair with you, mate.
Oh yeah, I wonder whose is longer. Thank you very much, chat, for joining us. We appreciate you being
Thank
here.
you, everyone.
Thanks for having us, Matt and Andy. We appreciate you having us on. It's always a pleasure, and look forward to doing it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's